Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. It was about the early 1980s that a kooky idea, born in the incubator of most kooky ideas, the liberal American university system, first took hold. I was a sophomore at Notre Dame when I first heard the term politically correct, and in typical sophomoric fashion, I thought it had to do with voting for the most correct political party. I had no idea it was the first step to creating a social environment where certain kinds of speech would be forbidden, first culturally and then legally. The cultural version has long since been ensconced into the national discourse, and now here comes the legal version. The son of PC speech is now called hate speech, and it has taken on the force of law in many differing but exacting ways. Hate speech has made its appearance on the national stage as the main weapon in advancing sodomy as a form of marriage. Imagine, to say that two men doing sexual stuff with each other is wrong is considered hateful, and depending on how or where you say it, you could have the force of law to back it up. Oh, but just wait, there is much more to come. When the U.S. Supreme Court rules at the end of this month, or better said, dreams up a constitutional right to have sex with your same sex and call it marriage, the hate speech floodgates will burst open. One of the nut jobs leading the charge will be a woman by the name of Tanya Cohen. She writes for a nutty website called Thought Catalog. She is advancing the principle that abortion is a human right, and therefore to speak against abortion is to throw into the public discourse a version of hate speech which should be illegal and punishable. The Australian Jewish writer is about as politically insane and extreme as they come. She goes to great pains to say, in short, that the best exercise of free speech is to ban it as hate speech. She, of course, neglects to inform you that it is her sick-minded kind, engaging in their usual mental diarrhea, who will get to determine what is branded as hateful. Didn't a group of German fascists in the last century pull this same thing? Which makes it all the more confusing that a race which suffered so desperately at the hands of such twisted ideology and thought would be so willing to impose it on the rest of humanity. Does Cohen not see that her bigoted thought will lead straight to the 21st century gas chambers? In reality, a close cousin of her intellectually unstable thought has already led to the mass extermination of 10 times the number of Jews murdered by the Nazis, namely abortion in the U.S. since Roe versus Wade. Women like Cohen and huge numbers of others like her, men and women alike, want the free speech of those who oppose them banned, and they are winning the day. No court ever rules that their marches through the streets in favor of sodomy is going too far in the arena of free speech. You can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater for fear of loss of life. Why isn't it illegal to yell marriage at a sodomy celebration for fear of a loss of a culture? As soon as the Supreme Court hands down this ruling and delivers into the hands of the homo-fascists the long-desired and sought-after crown of victory, they will use that newfound authority to begin to shut down any opposition speech. Now, unlike abortion, which is an event isolated to a certain time frame, a person who announces he is gay for all the world to cheer is always in a constant state of being gay, and therefore always in a constant state of being able to be offended by your public voice saying gay is evil. A woman is not in a constant state of always being administered an abortion, but a lesbian is always a lesbian if she says so. The time is quickly approaching. In fact, the incubator is already alive with sodomy speech bacterial ideas and strategies to prevent you from saying the truth. It will be labeled hate, and it will close off all discussion. But the truth must be said regardless. The true hate is that which this mentally disturbed and intellectually challenged lot has for the supernatural. They want their sex with whoever and whenever they want it, as much as they want it, and they want to force you to approve of it. This is not your garden variety sinfulness. This is not a crime of passion. This is all very much premeditated murder of the culture. These people are evil, are driven by evil, are desirous of evil. They use their freedom to enslave you and your freedom. America hasn't been America since the Supreme Court ruled that birth control is perfectly legal, along with no-fault divorce. Once that happened, the genie was out of the bottle and the inevitable reality of abortion and now sodomite marriage was fixed in place. We've just been watching the end of the game play out. It's coming, just like a tornado is preceded by that spooky green sky and stillness of the air. It's coming, and only those who recognize the signs will survive and make it to heaven. There is a considerable likelihood that your livelihoods will be demanded of you in the near future if you try and exercise your former right to free speech. It's coming. Arm yourselves spiritually because there will be little else to arm yourselves with. Your bodies may be threatened that you cannot really control, but your soul is your own, and over that, properly disposed, you have total control. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.
I don't often watch internet video, but when I do, I prefer Church Militant. Stay Catholic, my friends.